If you're an avid cyclist, you probably didn't miss out on BikeAsia 2009, said to be the only exhibition in Asia dedicated entirely to motorcycles and bicycles. But here's some exclusive interviews and footage from the event that you haven't seen yet. I talked to big names in the industry, like Gary Fisher, the godfather of mountain biking, who invented the first mountain bike back in 1975. And I asked US Olympic mountain bike champion, Tinka Juarez, what is the secret to his success. And I bumped into some talented local guys to show off their bike trial skills. But first up, I talked to one of the world's most famous motorcycle stunt artists, Germany's very own Oliver Ronzhiemer. Oliver, you do some pretty nifty tricks with your bike. When did you start? When did you first pick up a bike and say, I'm going to try to do a wheelie in the air or something?
First of all, I've started when I was 8 years old on dirt, so with a small little bike, tiny, and that was the beginning of it. I didn't think about any crashes or something like that. So that's when you're a child, it's no problem, to think about such things.
When you're a child, it's no problem to think of such things. Oh my goodness, what did your mom say?
Well, she was not really happy about, but my dad said, well, let's go for it. We have fun, and he's outside. He's not doing wrong things, so he has fun. He's with other kids, and they play a bit.
Okay, so when did it really take off for you that you knew you wanted to do this and perform your stunts around the world?
Well, I had a long education in motorsports. It's called trial. You train your balance there and compete in German championship, later on world championship, and so on. And after that, I did some demonstrations on that bike, and it was like a normal development, to do some nice tricks. And after a while, in 2001, I think it was, KTM asked me if you could imagine to do some tricks, some stunts, some moves on our bikes. And we said, well, I'm going to try it. And that was the beginning of a real freestyle and stunt riding career.
And what is the thrill in, doing all these stunts? Because they're dangerous.
It's dangerous. Actually, I cannot say it's dangerous. You must be focused on it. There's always a risk, but you can pass the street, and there's a regular risk as well, or normal risk to get, hidden by a car or something. So you have to be focused on it, what you do. You must be sure what you do or what you're able to do, and try your best. And of course, it's like learning by doing a little bit, try and error. But at the end, it works.
Trial and error. When you say error, has there been any very bad injuries that you've sustained?
No, not really. Just one injury. I torn my crucial ligaments in the knee 1.5 years ago. Before, so that was the heaviest one. So. Oh
dear. Okay, but you've fully recovered from that now?
Yeah. Okay. No problem.
Great. And I saw this pretty interesting device. It's called the special device, as your girlfriend calls it, right? Over here. Tell us about what is that for?
Well, first of all, it's to put my feet on it, one feet, to do it during a wheelie, for example. And this part here is made in titanium. When I scratch the floor, you can see some sparks there. And at the end, it stabilizes the whole motorcycle, or even that I don't crash the plastic parts here. So this is very important.
Okay. And the sparks, that's for showmanship, is it?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, did you bring this bike into Singapore as it is, the whole thing? How did you bring this over to Singapore?
No, this is a standard bike, and I brought some special parts with me, like even the special device here.
So you have to carry all these spare parts by yourself in the plane, by yourself?
By myself in the luggage, and that's why my girlfriend joins me as well, because I need her to carry the luggage as well.
And whatever comes our way, yeah, darling, go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace.
maybe you guys can tell me more about yourselves and what are you doing here performing all these crazy stunts today?
My name is Walton. This is Ziwen. This is Ben. We are here for the second year in a row to do some demonstrations. Basically, this sport is bike trial, and it originates from motor trials. I mean, many people will know that. Yeah, and we are here to actually do a demonstration, showcase what bike trial is all about. You know, nobody really seen bicycle maneuver over props like this.
Pretty crazy. I mean, what does your mom have to say about you doing this, huh?
Get your own bike because they're not cheap. Yeah.
What are some of your accomplishments?
For myself, I'm ranked second in Asia, and I'm 16 in the world. And then for Ben, he's actually in the junior progression.
It's definitely not a cheap sport. Why do you guys pick this up? How do you guys pick it up? Maybe I can get you Ben, right?
Yes, it's very challenging. Yeah, and you got to plan your routes and everything properly. Yeah, any mistake is very serious. Yeah.
Have you had any serious mistakes?
Not so far.
When did you start this sport?
I started this sport 1998.
Okay.
Yeah.
For about more than 10 years?
Yes, more than 10 years.
Okay. And why did you continue it for more than a decade?
It's my passion. Yeah, it trains a lot on my determination, my willingness, and my guts as well.
Invented the first mountain bike. How did this come about? Can we go down, memory lane and...
It was completely selfish interest. I wanted a bike that I could ride off-road and ride up the hills and down the hills and do it again and again, over and over, without having to fix the bike every day. You got to realize, people have ridden off-road before. when the bicycle was invented over 100 years ago, there were no paved roads. So it was all off-road. But what we were doing was turning it into like a natural roller coaster, shall we say. A place to go that's hidden away out in the woods, being able to get around anywhere we wanted to. That's what we were trying to do.
So where are some of the places would you love to ride in the world?
Well, northern Italy, because there's a million places to ride and the food is so great. You go out to the Dolomites, incredible. I love going to Moab, Utah, because incredible natural landscape, the Great West and all that sort of thing. Or going out to, the Northwest and going up to, Vancouver, Canada. Incredible technical riding, crazy stuff. And then just for the temple of bicycle is the Avenue of the Giants. About 220 miles north of San Francisco is the world's largest stand of redwood trees. And you can ride through them for 18 miles on a little single track. And it gets really hot there in the summertime. And you just jump off into the creek right next there. And these things are so big. And you feel like that big, and it's just humbling. This is the church of nature.
You've traveled around the world and you speak so passionately about bike riding. Can you relate some stories that you remember, like riding with friends? Any funny memories to share with us?
There's about 10,000 funny memories. You go out and you generate new ones, every time you ride. There's usually something goofy that happens, that goes on. Let's think. The last mountain bike I went on where I live was on Mount Tamalpais. And I had two of my friends from Australia there. Well, they're Australian, but actually it's Philip, who runs Trek Japan and Trek China and everything. And they went out, we started out, and they just were hammering me. I was dying, man. They're so fit and everything. Well, after about 20 minutes of climbing, I started, all right, I feel okay. And we get up about, and that day there was barely anybody out on the trail. And we get up to this place called the West Point Inn. And here's my local bartender from the middle of San Francisco. I live in the middle of San Francisco, and this guy's 2 blocks away from me. And Amanda, oh my God, nobody was supposed to see them. Of course, we saw them out there, and the beans were spilt. That was the last ride, and it's always like this. There's something going on, and it's about doing something that's an adventure, doing it with your friends, and seeing what happens. And the mountain bike, it offers that up all the time because it's not perfectly the same ever. You know, everything changes all the time. It's like, we're talking to the race promoter for this weekend's race, and he's saying, oh, yeah, the course is going to be muddy. It gets muddy, it gets sloppy and everything, and he goes sloshing around all over the place, and it's completely different than when things are hard and dry, when it gets really fast and everything. So there's always, even on the same course, there's all this variety that can happen.
So each ride, it's like a new adventure, in other words. Each ride is like a new adventure.
I want new adventure every day, you know. I want new adventure all the time.
Are you going to be riding for the rest of your life? Or when do you plan to retire? When's going to be the last cycle for you, you know? No. Never?
No, retirement is death. Come on. You know, I want to keep riding my bike. And a bike is a very kind thing, in a way. I mean, you know, it's the old thing. You got to keep using it, or else you're going to lose it. And, you know, I want to keep everything fully functional in my life for as long as I possibly can. So I'm going to ride my bike. I'm going to ride my bike, and I'm going to ride my bike.
Forever.
Forever.
Is there a motto that you live by?
Well, before you break the rules, you got to learn all the rules. Then you can break the rules. Because you know what counts and what doesn't, you know, and what really works.
Speaking of rules, I heard that you were suspended from bike riding. And it was only until the suspension was lifted about having long hair that you went back to bike riding. Is that a defiant, rebellious streak in you?
I didn't want to cut my hair, and those guys were wrong, you know? That was it, period. And fortunately, a bike racer over in Berkeley, California, took them to court and got it thrown out and everything. But, you know, but I had to come back. I couldn't stay away from bikes.